yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
I'm James Taylor. I suppose you'd call me the founder of Kidderminster Weekly Productions, which is a small production company that my friend Matthew and I started to produce and edit the experimental video weekly magazine that we put out called Kidderminster Weekly. I'm a barber full time. That's my day job. I've been a barber for 25 years. It keeps the wolf from the door and the bills paid. Kidderminster Weekly is very much a passion project, me and Matthew. It's something that we decided to do off our own back. We don't get any money for it. We don't ask for any compensation with the people we video and interview. We're just about promoting Kidderminster, our hometown, as you know.
But I personally watch it and I think it's a very great. I love it. I think it's brilliant.
Thank you.
It's what we need, because we need that better good word for our town.
Yeah, there's a lot of negativity about Kidderminster, particularly on Facebook and on the internet. Mainly Facebook. There were 2 or 3 pages we could name that we shan't name, and they do seem to be hives of negativity. You know, people just like to go on there and moan, and we thought we'd try and redress that balance a little bit with Kidderminster Weekly and show that there's a lot of positive in Kidderminster. There's a lot of good things going on. I'm in town obviously a lot every week, filming Kidderminster Weekly, chatting to business owners, chatting to members of the public. We've had talks with the council. We've talked to some of the bigger corporations. The West Midland Safari Park involved the 1 week. Unfortunately, they declined. But we're having dialogue with all these various factions, and everybody from like the top and from the people that own the businesses and all of that, and the general speaking public who we speak to, mostly positive. It isn't until you get onto the internet and that's when you start to see stories of Kidderminster Town Centre. There's urine in the doorways. There's people begging. There's heroin addicts and drug addicts. But I don't see that on a weekly basis. I very rarely see anything that would amount to anything worth mentioning negative on Facebook. What inspired me to make Kidderminster Weekly? Well, I think it was mainly because I bought a new camera and I needed an excuse to go out and use it. And my partner Matthew Harmon, who unfortunately couldn't be here today due to family commitments, hi Matt, unfortunately, like I say, you can't be here, but we decided that we were going to redress that balance and we would use my camera to go out into the street and just interview people of Kidderminster. I said to Matthew, before we started, I think the gold will be in the streets for us, and our videos have a lot of views, but it seems to be when we talk to the public, that's when the views are the highest, when we go out and just chat with regular people. And it's constantly surprised me because I've gone out thinking there's going to be maybe a bit of negativity, but I've very rarely experienced the negativity. It always comes across, to me at least, 80-90% positive. And as for what inspired us, there's nobody else doing really what me and Matthew are doing in going out and advertising that this is a good business, this is happening, this is opening. It's not all doom and gloom. So that's kind of what's inspired us. We wanted to redress that balance a little bit.
How do you come up with the ideas for the videos? Like, what sort of topic you want to talk about?
It depends really. We either take what's hot on Facebook that week, you know, the Worcester Street opening video being a good for instance for that. But we also have people message our page to ask us to can you come and do a story on us? We haven't got round to enough of those stories yet, but don't worry, we are going to get to you all. I promise we'll get to you all. We've been inundated with stories, but we like to shine a light on local businesses, independent businesses who are maybe up against bigger businesses, and that's what we're trying to do. We don't necessarily have a formula like this week we're going to do this, because something might crop up.
Something that's more important.
Something that's topical for that week, and we can go and cover that. Because we're not tied to anybody, we're not paid to do what we do. We can just literally decide. Like, we've had 2 weeks off. We've enjoyed having a couple of weeks off, but we'll be getting back to it very soon. And that was our decision, just to have like a couple of weeks off from it. Now we're itching to get back at it again, so we'll be back at it next week. It's like I say, it's good. It's liberating when you're doing it for yourself because you've got no boss, no one breathing down your neck, and that's my favourite way to live my life.
How long does it take you to sort of record and edit a video?
When we first started, it took us quite a while to get the interest of the people to come and be interviewed by us. So it could take us 2-3 hours to get the actual footage in the can, not including driving around shooting B-roll, you know, footage that fills in the spaces between the interview. Yeah. So now we've got it down to about an hour. We can shoot the whole thing in an hour, including B-roll and all the extra footage we need. And then Matthew's the editing wizard. I can't, you know, I'll sit and watch him and I'm just amazed. He's done it, you know. He is, you know, he says he's lucky, but I think he's good. So if you need any editing done, Matthew might be the guy to go to. He's excellent with the green screen. So to answer your question, at first it took us a long time. Now we've kind of got it streamlined and we kind of know what we're doing. So we didn't know what we're doing. Now we kind of do. You know, every day is a school day. That's what they say, isn't it? Yes. Every day is a school day. If you keep your eyes and ears open, kids, every day is a school day.
Who do you think's the lazy one? Who do you think's the more productive one?
Well, it's 50-50. There's, you know, Matthew works nights, so his sleep pattern is different to my sleep pattern. There isn't really one of us I call lazy. I'm probably the more lackadaisical of the two of us. I'm a bit more laid back. We're both laid back, but I'm maybe slightly more laid back, maybe because of my age. Matthew's a lot younger than me. He's got a lot going on with his job. He's got a lovely young girlfriend, Meg, who's a lovely girl, you know, that keeps him busy. Whereas I'm, you know, married. My daughter's grown up, working. You know, I work for myself, so my business hours are very flexible. I can, you know, decide I'm going to do something this day, I'm going to go out and shoot, or I can decide I'm not going to shoot anything this week. That's the beauty of the way we do Kidderminster Weekly. So yeah, we're both lackadaisical really, but I'm probably the more laid back of the two of us.
That's fair enough to say. I noticed that you guys went to BBC Hereford and Worcester.
Yeah, the local radio station. Yes, we were interviewed by Kate Justice. We were invited by Nina Das Gupta to upload some of their content to the BBC Upload website, which we duly did. And in no time at all, we were on the phone to a producer, and we went to the BBC Hereford and Worcester studios, which was great to see how the professionals do it. And even better to be interviewed by the lovely Kate Justice, who, you know, I had a bit of a schoolboy crush on her, I can't deny. She's a lovely girl, and she was very kind about Kidderminster Weekly. She bigged us up really, and she helped us out. She even held the camera and interviewed us on camera for Kidderminster Weekly, which was, you know, I wouldn't have asked. Even if I'd have thought to ask, I wouldn't have asked. But she offered very kindly. I'll hold that camera for you, and we'll get some shots of you at Matthew. And like I say, we were lucky, and it was great. And she did us a really good job. We were really happy to be on there. It was an honour, really, to be fair, and we'll happily go back anytime they want us.
You know, your Hello Kidderminster, welcome to Kidderminster. What made you come up with that?
Like all of the best things in life, the Hello Kidderminster came completely out of my bum. I didn't know what I was going to do. We shot an intro, and then we shot the very first thing we shot, and we did it in the cave, in the Devil's Spitfall. There's a rock on the nature reserve, the Rifle Range Nature Reserve near us. And it just came. It happened completely naturally. And I walked out of the cave and just said, "Hello, Kidderminster." And now I walk past the college and kids shout "Hello, Kidderminster" at me. It's mad how it just happened. It's
pretty much just stuck, hasn't it?
It's and I hear it because obviously we're editing the videos quite a lot, and you're watching the re-render, and you're watching this, and I've heard myself say "Hello, Kidderminster" so many times. It's kind of old now. I might need to think of something new for the spring series. Well, there's a lot of things that me and Matthew have got lined up for the future, exciting things in the pipeline, so I'm sure we'll fit in a new intro for Kidderminster Weekly too.
That's great. Hopefully I can help you make that intro.
Yeah, well, like me and Matthew said, this is something that Cam and I were discussing off camera, that he might jump on and help me and Matthew out at Kidderminster Weekly at some point, so we'll see what happens there. No spoilers. Like I say, we're going to do one more episode of Kidderminster Weekly for the winter season, and then we're going to take a break for about a month or so.
Everybody needs a break.
Well, we've been going since November, and we have had a couple of weeks off for Christmas, and your mum was in the Christmas special, which we put out on Christmas Eve, which did quite well. You know, we have the Stiff Joints and the lead singers from The Murmur and from Blind Lemon, and of course your mum joined in as well there, Freddie Smart. And that was great. And then we had a couple of weeks off for that, and then we didn't really do a great deal until about the middle of January. But it's just got to the point where we need that little bit of a breather to get the impetus back. We're going to start work on our next project, which is a short horror film called Asbeal. Don't want to give too much away about that, but it's exciting. I've got quite a lot of exciting cast and crew involved. The story is written. You just have to finish the script now, which is something I'm not good at. But the script, I'm sure, is going to be worked on by other people who do know how to do that. So that's the next thing for Kidderminster Weekly Productions. We're going to branch away from Kidderminster Weekly just for a month, and then we'll be back probably around the end of March, beginning of April time for the spring season.
Your suits, your wonderful weird suits.
I do have a collection.
How many do you have? Do you think you've got? Is it in the hundreds?
No,
or the thousands?
no, it's not quite that many. I'm ashamed to say I probably do have a jacket at least for every day of the month, just about. I do have
28 days or 31 days?
Yeah, we'll probably go February on a leap year, maybe 29 days.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, put it this way, I've got a walk-in front bedroom that is basically an ironing board and my jacket, so thanks Em for putting up with me. My many suits. Em's my wife, by the way.
Hello Em.
Hello Em, hello Chloe.
Hi Chloe.
Chloe's my daughter. Our page is on Facebook, Kidderminster Weekly Productions. I'm James E. Taylor on Facebook. My phone number's there. Drop me a line anytime you like.
Well, thank you very much for letting me interview you.
Pleasure was mine.
I don't really have any more questions, but is there anything you want to sort of say or anything else extra you want to...
Yeah, I've got a little bit we can add. Go into Kidderminster Town Centre, spend your money locally, help invest in the local economy, keep local people in business, keep local shops open. There's lots happening. The town isn't full of drug addicts, the town isn't full of beggars, the town is full of lovely people who've got lovely shops. Go down there and help out the local economy. Goodbye, Kidderminster. That was good, man.
Thank you.
That was good. Nice one.